He leaves the invoice open on the table like it's not the match I'll strike. It's there with the edge curling slightly from heat, or time, or carelessness, though carelessness has always been his kindest disguise. I say nothing. I stir my coffee, clockwise, no sugar. The light coming through the kitchen blinds hits the paper just right. "You need anything from the hardware store?" he asks, as if the paper between us isn't proof he made a decision without me again. I answer with the back of my head, nod once, a non-answer he'll interpret however he likes. He's already halfway out the door. The sound of keys, his boots on the back step, the truck door slamming like punctuation. I wait for the engine, then the silence, then I breathe. I fold the invoice in half not to hide it, just to test the crease. There's a splatter mark near the top. Grease? Coffee? I trace it with my thumb. The paper is thick. A contractor's name I've never seen. The line that matters, invoice number A917, emergency roof repair, $3,480, the 4th of March 2019. My name listed under billing. He signed nothing. There's a second page underneath terms and liability, but it's not in the folder marked house. It's not in any folder at all, just left on the table like it meant nothing, like I'd never read it, like I wouldn't understand it, but I do. I walk to the file cabinet and pull out the folder labeled Valerie, Personal. It's slim, just a few forms, a business card, one retainer agreement I never filed. I slide the invoice inside and tuck the folder back where it belongs. Second drawer, behind taxes 2020. Everything has a place, even preparation. Outside, the neighborhood is already humming. Someone's sprinkler clicks across the sidewalk. Miss Janine walks her dog past the HOA mailbox and nods at me through the window. She'll be at the meeting tomorrow. She always is. Every third Thursday, 6 p.m. Folding chairs and plastic cookies and paper agendas. I wonder if she remembers the last time she saw me speak at one. It's been a year, maybe more. In the bedroom, I unfasten my necklace and hang it on the hook by the mirror. I take off my wedding ring, look at the pale line beneath it, then turn the ring inward and slide it back on. It presses against the web of my fingers like a reminder. I don't know when I started doing that, weeks ago, months, maybe. It was quiet, like most of the changes, like most of the losses. They don't come with sirens, they come with laundry and invoices. Downstairs, the dryer buzzes. I fold shirts in silence. His cologne still clings to one of them. I put it at the bottom of the stack. My phone buzzes. Valerie. Just a name, no preview. I don't answer. Not yet. I already know what she'll say. Or rather, what she won't. He's back by 4, stomping through the garage like a man returning from war. "They didn't have the sealant I like," he says. "Got this one instead." He lifts a can. I don't look. "You hear me?" he adds, louder now. I nod again, still stirring something that's already gone cold. "Anyway, I'll fix the shed this weekend. HOA's been breathing down our necks." He laughs like that's a joke. I smile with my mouth closed. That night, I listen to him talk through his dinner, roofing glue, baseball scores, what Travis Jr. said on the phone. I nod at the right times. I offer a frozen green bean smile, and when he excuses himself to watch something upstairs, I clear the plates one at a time. His glass has a fingerprint I don't recognize. I wash it with extra soap. Dry it with a towel I'll throw out later. In bed, he reaches for me. Habit, not heat. I turn slightly. Not away, just enough to breathe without him noticing the delay. He falls asleep fast, like men who don't carry questions. I lie still for a long time. Then I reach for the drawer. Not the one with my novels. The lower one. Inside, the folder, the printout, and the card that says Valerie Chen, Family Law. I don't need to read it again. But I do. At 3:11 a.m. I walk quietly to the kitchen, pour water into the kettle, and wait for the sound of it boiling. I leave no lights on. When the steam rises, I remove it before the whistle. I stir my tea counterclockwise, a minor rebellion. Then I sit at the same table where the invoice waited for me. I open it again. This time I don't crease it. I flatten it with both hands. The paper doesn't fight. In the morning, I do what I always do. I start a load of towels. I make his lunch. I check the mail. Another HOA notice, yellow this time, stamped urgent. I place it next to his sandwich. He'll call it nagging. I call it a breadcrumb. I walk into the garage and lift the plastic bin marked summer decor. Beneath the faded wreath and tangled lights, I find what I'm looking for: the fireproof envelope. Inside, insurance policies, birth certificates, a copy of the prenup we both pretended didn't matter. I place it in my tote. I zip it once, slowly. The tote goes with me now, everywhere. When he leaves for work, he doesn't kiss me goodbye. He hasn't in weeks. He doesn't notice the box of photos missing from the hallway shelf, or the silent drawer where our bank statements used to be. He doesn't ask, and I don't offer. By noon, I'm parked outside Valerie's office. I don't go in, not yet. She sees me from the window. We exchange a look that holds more history than warmth. I raise the folder in one hand. She nods once. She doesn't wave. She doesn't need to. On the way home, I buy 3 things: coffee filters, a new notepad, and a padlock. I know exactly where the padlock will go. When he returns, he says nothing about the mail, nothing about the invoice, nothing about the ring turned inward. He says, "Dinner?" Like it's a kindness. I nod. Later, as he showers, I unlock the filing cabinet. I remove the folder, replace the invoice with a clean copy. I slide a second page inside my handwriting, a quote: "Silence isn't surrender. Sometimes it's preparation." Then I lock it with the new padlock, not because I think he'll look, but because I want to be the one who opens it. He's still whistling when he walks back in. The front door closes with the same weight it always has, but now it sounds final. I'm at the sink, rinsing a spoon I didn't use, letting hot water run longer than necessary. He slaps the newspaper on the table like it matters. "Gas is going up again," he says. "Guess we'll have to start walking." I hum in agreement. It's easier than lying. He sits, unfolds the paper, and takes a bite of toast I made for myself. He doesn't ask. He never does. I glance down at my hand. The ring is still turned inward. The metal rubs differently against the skin that was once pale beneath it. That strip of skin has darkened, like the rest of me. Hardened, weathered. I tighten my grip on the spoon, just once, then release it slowly and wipe my hands on the hem of my shirt. When he leaves the room, I retrieve the invoice copy from my tote. I don't hide it. I simply place it on the edge of the bookshelf where the receipts used to go, back when we tracked things together, back when he asked. I smooth the crease I made yesterday. The corner still curls. I leave it that way. Upstairs, I hear him opening drawers, muttering about the hammer, the tape, the damn flashlight no one ever puts back. He doesn't ask me. He curses the air instead, the walls, the past. I put the kettle on. Green tea this time. Unflavored. Clean. I pull the chair out quietly and sit. He stomps down a minute later, holding the flashlight and nothing else. "Knew it was in the closet. You always move things," he says. I nod. "Do you need help?" I ask, calmly. He waves the flashlight. "I got it." I watch him go out to the garage. The silence left behind is cooler than before. The mail comes early. I open it at the kitchen island. Credit card offer, local political flyer, HOA packet. I run my finger under the adhesive slowly, methodically, like skinning something that never screamed. Inside, a typed warning about roofing modifications and photographic evidence of unauthorized work. The photo is grainy but clear enough. Our address in black ink, the letters signed as always by Janine. My throat tightens, but not with panic, with precision. I place the packet beside the invoice. They don't touch, but they speak to each other. I imagine Janine's pearl necklace glinting under the HOA office lights. She signs in cursive, firm, and floral. I'll see her tonight. She won't expect what's coming. I make lunch. Ham sandwich, no mustard. I toast the bread because he likes it that way. I trim the edges, cut diagonally. The knife leaves a perfect crosshatch on the plate. I bring it to him in the garage. He's under the shelf now, muttering about brackets and weight distribution. "Thanks, babe," he says without looking up. I leave it on the workbench, just beside the invoice I've now printed again. Third copy. No note attached. Just presents. The garage door is half open. I see the neighbor's kid riding his bike across the street. He glances in. I wonder what he sees. Back inside, I wipe the counters again. Not because they're dirty, because the gesture means control. I restack the towels in the guest bath. I water the plant I've nearly forgotten 3 times this month. I open the drawer with the warranty documents and slide in the prenup behind the insurance forms. Its white tab sticks out just enough to find, just enough to miss if you're not looking. At 2:17 p.m., I call Valerie. Her voice is clipped and tired, but not surprised. "Did he sign anything?" she asks. "Not a thing," I reply. "Good," she says. "Then, you ready for tonight?" I nod, forgetting she can't see me. "Yes," I say, and I turn the ring already. She exhales. "Then don't let it turn back." At 5:50 p.m., I change into my second-best blouse and the flats with the quiet soles. He notices. "You going out?" he asks. "HOA meeting," I say. "Thought you stopped going." "Guess I'm starting again," he shrugs. "Don't forget to mention that the roof's fine. I'm not paying another cent." I smile. "No," I say. "You won't be." By 6:03 p.m., I'm seated 2 rows from the front. Janine calls the meeting to order. Her hair is pulled tight. Her voice is syrup and steel. The agenda clicks along. Parking violations, trash bins, fence height, then roofing. A projector screen flashes our address. A slide reads, "Unauthorized repair, emergency modification, the 4th of March 2019. She clicks to the next. "This residence did not submit a modification request." I raise my hand. Janine blinks. "Mrs. Kingston?" she asks, a smile struggling to lift her lips. "I'd like the board to note," I say clearly, "that the invoice was filed in my name, without my consent. I've brought a copy." I stand. No trembling, no heat, just winter. I hand her the invoice. Janine reads silently. Others murmur. One of the men, Brian, from down the block, tilts his phone to take a picture. I don't look at him. I don't look at anyone. Just Janine. "Well," she says, "that's a first." "It won't be the last," I say. She nods, then places the paper gently on the table. "Let's proceed." Afterward, Janine approaches in the hallway. "Are you all right?" she asks. "Perfectly," I say. "He doesn't know you're here, does he?" "No," I reply. "He left the invoice open on the table." "I just picked it up." Janine nods. "It's always paper that outlasts the noise." I smile. Some of us fold it better. When I return home, he's watching TV. "You say anything about the roof?" he asks. "Just enough," I reply. "They fine us again?" "Not yet." He waves it off. "They always do this crap." I nod, walk past him, set my tote gently on the counter. The zipper hums as it closes. He doesn't look up. At midnight, I lie awake, watching the ceiling curve into darkness. The moon spills through the slats, striping the carpet like a barcode. The ring presses hard against the bone of my finger. I could take it off. I don't, not yet. Not until it lands beside the line I memorized weeks ago. Prenup Section 4B. Separate property remains separate, no commingling credits. I mouth the words into the dark, then close my eyes. He tosses the mail on the kitchen island like it's something beneath him, like paper is for wives and HOA fines or personal attacks. "Another damn letter," he grunts. "I swear they must sit around all day inventing rules to make us miserable." He tears the envelope without reading the name on it first. "That's new. He's careless when he's comfortable." The flap rips clean across the corner, and a folded tri-page bundle falls out. Yellow header, red font. He squints. "Final notice," he reads aloud, sarcastic. Sure, they'd fine a dead man for breathing too loud. I dry my hands on the towel hanging from the stove. He waves the packet at me like it's a joke, like it's a mosquito he just swatted. "You worried?" he asks. "About a piece of paper?" I shake my head slowly. "Not at all." That answer satisfies him. He shuffles away, dragging his slippers against the hardwood. When he's out of sight, I walk over and retrieve the letter. The page is smudged at the fold, likely from the grease still on his fingers from lunch. I flatten it on the counter, careful not to tear the corner more than it already is. Notice number HOA 3321. Violation, unauthorized occupancy. Filed the 2nd of July 2020. I read it twice. The date matters. That was the summer he stayed in the guest room just for space, when I told myself things could still return to normal. When I believed proximity meant partnership, I fold the letter and slide it beneath the invoice already resting on the shelf by the phone. They belong together now. Upstairs, I hear drawers open and close. His footsteps cross the hallway twice. He's looking for something but won't ask me. He never asks. He waits for things to reveal themselves, for problems to vanish without his participation. The man believes time is a solvent. It's not. It's a spotlight. Later, while folding towels, I catch sight of the shoebox he'd tried to hide under his side of the bed. It's poorly wedged, one corner jutting out like a secret with bad posture. I pull it free, slowly, without guilt. Inside are receipts, warranties, a broken pair of sunglasses, and a dented tin with his father's initials. Underneath, a second roofing invoice, my name again, the same date, but this time with my forged signature. It's nearly convincing, just not quite. The M is too wide. I never cross my A like that. The loop on the Kingston droops low, too heavy, like someone copying something they never wrote with care. I sit on the edge of the bed, invoice in one hand, ring turned against my skin in the other. I trace my finger along the printed date, the 4th of March 2019, the year everything shifted. The repairs, the guest room exile, the conversations with long silences at the end. I thought I was losing something that year. I didn't realize how much I had already lost. I hear his footsteps on the stairs. I slide the invoice under the folded towels, tuck the box back in place, and return to the hallway. Looking for the charger, he says, annoyed. Mine's gone again. I gesture toward the drawer beside the microwave. He grunts when he finds it, as if locating something confirms suspicion. You moved it, he mumbles. It's always been there, I answer. He doesn't correct me. That night, he pours himself a drink. Bourbon, 2 fingers, 1 cube. He doesn't offer me any. I don't ask. I watch the ice melt while he talks about roof angles and how no one knows how to do real work anymore. That guy who patched it, he says, barely spoke English. Left the old tiles stacked behind the garage. Had to clean them myself. He wants me to be impressed, or grateful, or perhaps forgetful. You remember that day? He asks. Rain came down sideways. I nod. I remember it all. He smiles like he's won something. Later, as I load the dishwasher, I hear the sound of the TV. A laugh track, canned and hollow. He falls asleep in the recliner, one hand still holding the remote. I turn off the lights one by one until only the hallway remains lit. I place the new invoice copy beside the original. I staple them together without fanfare. They're a pair now, like we once were. At 2:12 a.m., I wake and reach for my phone. Valerie has texted one sentence. You ready to move on this? I stare at it for a long time. My thumb hovers. I type, he signed nothing. Then I delete it. I type again. I found the second invoice. It's forged. Send. No response comes right away, but I don't need one. In the morning, I find him whistling again. He hums when he's planning something or hiding it. He's making eggs. Burnt, as always. The smell clings to the walls. He gestures toward the stove. Want some? He asks. I shake my head. I'm not hungry. He shrugs. Suit yourself. He leaves his plate in the sink when he finishes. I wash it, slowly, with gloves. I'm not touching his fingerprints anymore. By noon, I've reviewed both invoices 3 times. I've lined up the signature with old tax forms, birthday cards. The difference is measurable, intentional. I slide everything into a fresh envelope and label it. Travis, fraud, the 4th of March 2019. I don't file it yet. I leave it in the center of the desk, just far enough from the prenup folder to make the space between them feel surgical. When he returns that evening, he doesn't notice anything missing. Not the bank statement I removed from the drawer. Not the framed photo that used to sit by the TV. He kicks off his boots and complains about the HOA again. They want to fight? He says, laughing. I got time. Let 'em fine us. I dare 'em. I nod slowly. Maybe they will, Perpressus did. That night, in the quiet after his bourbon, I sit with the light off and the documents spread before me. The invoices, the HOA notice, the retainer agreement, the prenup. My ring presses inward. A slow bruise I allow. I imagine the day I place it down for the last time, not as a surrender, but as punctuation. I whisper it like scripture. Separate property remains separate, no commingling credits. Then again, then once more. My mouth closes over the words like teeth. He has no idea I'm not listening anymore. The room is colder than I remember. Metal folding chairs scrape the linoleum as people file in, murmuring greetings no one means. A tray of generic cookies sweats under the flicker of fluorescent light. Janine stands near the projector, her clipboard tucked neatly beneath one arm, pearls sharp against her neck. She doesn't look at me as I enter, but I see her eyes register the tote in my hand. Brian nods from the second row. He never liked Travis. That helps. I take a seat near the front, third chair from the left, precisely angled toward the podium. I keep my hands folded over the folder. The ring still presses inward, steady against my skin. Travis strolls in 2 minutes late with the swagger of a man who's never lost in front of a group. He winks at Janine. She doesn't respond. He squeezes my shoulder as he passes. It takes all I have not to flinch. "Gonna be fun," he mutters, sliding into the chair beside me. His breath smells faintly of beer and victory. He leans close. "Bet they'll bring up the damn roof again." I nod, keep my gaze fixed on the agenda slide already glowing behind Janine. He doesn't notice I haven't smiled. Janine clears her throat at 6:3. "Let's begin," she says. "First item, roof violations." Her voice is measured, official. 2 cases remain unresolved. One involves an unapproved emergency repair at 148 Hemlock Lane. Travis leans back, arms crossed. "Here we go," he says under his breath. I hear the smirk. The screen changes. A photo appears our house, with the timestamp blurred in one corner. A second image follows. A cropped invoice with my name at the top. My eyes don't flinch. Travis chuckles. "Looks like they've been digging," he says, louder now. "You guys really need a hobby." A man from the third row clears his throat. Janine continues. The invoice in question lists emergency work completed without formal approval. No modification request was submitted. She doesn't look at me yet. This puts the property in violation of HOA policy section 12B and section 16C. That roof was leaking like hell, Travis interrupts. "You want water damage? Mold? Lawsuit? I fixed the damn thing." His voice sharpens, just enough to turn heads. Brian looks at me. I remain still. Janine lifts a paper from her clipboard. "Invoice to Mara Kingston," she says, signed by no contractor on record. Work completed the 4th of March 2019. Emergency status not declared? "It was a storm," Travis says. "Wind tore half the shingles off. I got photos." "And yet," Janine says coolly, "no request was submitted. The HOA wasn't notified, and the invoice was not signed by any authorized party." She finally turns her gaze toward me. "Mrs. Kingston, do you have anything to add?" My hand moves slowly. I unzip the tote, withdraw the folder, and place it gently on my lap. I flip it open with care. Behind the printed invoices, I slide out a page I prepared this morning. 3 copies, one for Janine, one for Brian, one for the file. I rise, walk to the front, and hand Janine the page. "I'd like to submit this for the record," I say. My voice does not shake. Janine reads it silently. The words are simple. Invoice number A917, emergency roof repair, $3,480, billed to Mara Kingston without prior consent. Signature forged. Verification enclosed. I included a scan of my actual signature from a bank document dated a week earlier. The difference is visible even to the untrained eye. Janine inhales through her nose. Brian glances at the paper over her shoulder. A murmur spreads through the rows like static. Travis scoffs. "Oh, come on," he says, rising. "This is ridiculous. Are we doing handwriting analysis now?" His voice rises, too loud for the space. "That's my wife's name on the paper. Who cares if she didn't sign it? It's our house." Janine doesn't respond. Brian does. "It's her name on the deed," he says quietly. That silences the row. I return to my seat without looking at Travis. His breath is faster now, clipped. His jaw tenses. "You had this ready?" he whispers. "You planned this?" I fold my hands again. "No," I say. "I read the mail," he scoffs, but there's no sound behind it. He crosses his arms tighter. Janine clears her throat. "This matter will be reviewed formally. For now, it's recorded." She taps the paper once. "Let's move on to the next violation." The meeting resumes, but the room has shifted. No one looks at Travis. A woman in the back whispers something to her husband. Brian glances my way again and nods, barely perceptible. Janine avoids Travis's eyes for the rest of the session. Afterward, in the parking lot, Janine approaches. The air smells like overwatered grass and heat baked into concrete. "You've been patient," she says. "Longer than most." I don't answer. She adjusts her clipboard. "Do you need anything from the board?" "Just the truth on record," I say. "Nothing more." "That," she replies. "You have." Travis storms ahead to the truck, keys already in his hand. He slams the door before I've crossed the lot. I slide into the passenger seat silently. "That was cute," he says. "Bringing paperwork like it's court. You think Janine gives a damn?" I buckle my seatbelt. I think she reads what's in front of her. "You made me look like a fool." I turn to face the window. "You didn't need help." He doesn't speak the rest of the drive. The radio stays off. The engine hums louder than either of us. When we pull into the driveway, he exits first, doesn't hold the door. I wait until he's inside to move. In the hallway, he drops his keys on the counter and heads straight to the living room. I hear the volume of the TV rise. I go to the kitchen. The invoice sits where I left it this morning. I slide the HOA notice beside it. I add a new copy of the meeting transcript I picked up on the way out. The folder is thicker now. It has a spine, a weight. In the bedroom, I remove the ring again. The skin beneath it is paler now. The pressure bruise is gone. I rotate it once in my fingers. Then I slide it back on, turned inward once more. Not yet. Not tonight. But soon. He comes home louder now. Not with sound, but with presence. Boots hit the floor harder. Keys rattle longer. The fridge stays open a few seconds more. He's waiting for me to speak first, to pick a fight he can win. I don't. The TV stays on all night. Reruns of shows we never watched together. Voices too cheerful. Plots too thin. When he asks, "You really went through with all that HOA drama?" I look up from my tea and say, "I submitted what they asked for." He laughs, not because it's funny, but because control sounds like laughter when it's cracking. "Hope you're ready for the fine," he says. They always pick a target. I fold the edge of the placemat under my fingers, the same one I used to iron before dinner. "You signed it," I say softly. "They'll send it to you." He freezes for a moment, then snorts. "You serious?" I don't answer. The next morning, I wake early. He's already gone, the truck missing from the driveway like a problem that moves but doesn't disappear. I walk into the study. The drawer he rarely touches is slightly open. That's new. I open it fully, expecting chaos. But everything's in place until I find the folder labeled House Projects. Inside, behind old fence quotes and a faded pest control receipt, is another roofing invoice. Different company name. Different amount. Still my name. Still dated the 4th of March 2019. This one is unsigned. No signature. No initials. Just a typed line where mine should be. I read it 3 times before I sit down. The contractor name doesn't match the original. Neither does the total. $3,610 this time. He submitted multiple copies. One must have been for the bank, one for the HOA, one to confuse the story. I hold the page to the light. There's a faint watermark, something only visible at the edge. I memorize it. Then I make 2 copies, one for Valerie, one for the record. I return the folder without a sound. No need to remove it. Let him think it's safe. Let him think the lie is still working. Let him think I don't check. That afternoon, I receive a voicemail from Valerie. She doesn't say much, just that the file's growing teeth, that we're close to having what we need, that it's better if I don't send this new invoice by email. I understand. Paper only, no digital trail. I seal it in an envelope and place it inside the tote. When he returns that evening, he's quiet again. He watches me from the hallway while I slice vegetables. "Everything all right?" he asks. I glance up. "Of course." He steps closer, reaches for a beer. "You've been quiet." "Just tired." He nods slowly, opens the bottle without taking his eyes off me. "You still mad about the roof?" I set the knife down carefully. "You forged my name," I say, voice flat. He exhales through his nose, not laughing this time. "I paid for it." "With my credit," I reply. "On paper, with my name, on property that isn't yours." His eyes narrow. "What are you trying to say?" I wipe my hands on the towel and turn to face him. "I'm saying you did something without me. Again. And I noticed. He was known out it's about of crowded. He leans against the counter, defensive. You weren't home. It was raining. I did what I had to do. Why do you care so much? Because you never told me, I say. Because you lied twice, once with the act, once by omission. He shrugs, the gesture empty. What difference does it make now? All the difference, I say. I pick up the knife again, not with threat, but purpose, and return to the cutting board. Dinner will be ready in 20 minutes. He eats in silence that night, doesn't finish his beer, leaves the cap on the table. I watch it roll slightly with the vibrations of the fridge motor. It spins before settling, face down. When I wash the dishes, I keep the cap. I slip it into the drawer where the evidence lives. I label it with the date, not because it's important on its own, but because the record is precise now. At midnight, I remove the ring, only briefly, and place it beside the 2 invoices on the nightstand. I stare at them all in a row. The skin on my finger has flattened, colorless where the band presses deepest. I trace the watermark on the unsigned invoice with my pinky. It catches the light like something not meant to be seen. The room is quiet, my breath loud in the dark. The ring goes back on, turned in again. 2 days later, Travis leaves town for a job. He doesn't tell me how long he'll be gone, just that it might run late. I nod as he loads his duffel into the truck. Be safe, I say. He doesn't kiss me goodbye. He hasn't in weeks. As soon as the engine fades, I pull out the folder, the tote, and the recorder Valerie gave me. I organize everything on the dining table, line by line, dates in order, signatures examined, bank statements sorted. The prenup lies open beside it all, spine cracked, clause section 4B circled in ink. I read it aloud again. Separate property remains separate, no commingling credits. It's the only thing he forgot to fake. The sky breaks just before noon, sheets of rain that hit the windows sideways, like fists trying to get in. The house darkens in minutes, no thunder, just that endless wash of gray pressing against the walls. It's the same kind of storm that came that day, March 4th, 2019. The day he said he was taking care of it, while I was at work, while the tiles fell from the roof like teeth. He hadn't called, hadn't asked, just signed my name and let the storm decide what it would take. I sit at the kitchen table with the invoice in front of me, reading it again even though I could recite it in my sleep. Invoice number A, 917, $3,480. Emergency repair. My name. No signature. The date. I flatten the corner where the paper still curls heat, time, memory, and slide it into the manila folder marked Kingston, private. The last piece of paper joins the others like a closing argument. Valerie texts at 12:42. Lobby in 15. Bring originals. Be discreet. I don't reply. I just stand, zip the tote, and go upstairs to change. I leave the ring on the nightstand. Just for a moment, let the skin breathe. Then I slip it back on. Inward. Always inward. The bruise is almost gone, but I still feel it. That's enough. At 1:07 p.m., I walk into Valerie's office through the side entrance. No receptionist today, just the buzz of a copy machine behind a closed door and the faintest smell of toner and paper. Valerie's desk is bare except for a yellow pad and her phone flipped screen down. She doesn't offer coffee. She doesn't smile. That's why I chose her. Sit, she says. I do. She slides the legal folder toward her side. What do you have? I pull out the invoice, the second version, the HOA notice, the annotated prenup clause. I hand them over one by one. He forged my name. There are discrepancies in totals. Contractor names don't match. He never signed anything himself. And you didn't give verbal consent? She asks, flipping through pages. Not for credit, not for the repair. I wasn't home. I didn't even know until months later. Valerie nods. You have copies of your real signature? On file. Bank, DMV, voter registration. It won't match. Good. She taps the invoice with her pen. This is where it turns. I say nothing. Just watch her stack the papers in order. She pauses at the prenup. He never read this, did he? I highlighted section 4B the day after he proposed. I say. He laughed, said we'll never need that. Valerie smiles, thin and hard. They always say that until they need it. I reach into the tote one last time and pull out the small jewelry box. I flip it open and remove the ring, still warm from my skin. I place it gently on top of the invoice. "That's not a gesture," I say. "It's a timestamp." Valerie looks at me over the rim of her glasses. "He'll try to make this emotional," she warns. "He'll say you're overreacting, that you're vindictive. He'll paint himself as a provider." "He already does," I reply. "I've just stopped agreeing." She nods. "You ready to file formally?" I pause. Then, "Yes." She slides the ring back across the table. "Keep it," she says. "Use it when it matters." When I leave the office, the rain has stopped. The clouds still hang low, but there's a clarity to the air, like everything's been stripped and wrung dry. I take the long way home, windows down, wind in my hair. No music, just the sound of tires on wet pavement. It's quieter than it should be. Or maybe it's that I've finally stopped expecting noise. At home, I unlace my shoes, wipe them before stepping inside. The kitchen light flickers when I turn it on. I leave it that way. I place the tote on the table, unzip it, and remove only the ring. I walk upstairs. In the bedroom, I open the drawer where I used to keep perfume bottles and anniversary cards. I place the ring in the corner, nestled in a folded napkin from our 3rd anniversary dinner. I close the drawer slowly. It doesn't creak. I don't need it to. That night, I make dinner for one. He hasn't texted. I don't expect him to. The silence isn't cold anymore, it's clean. I pour a glass of wine, sit where he used to, and eat slowly, savoring each bite like a small victory. The chair across from me stays empty. At 11:48 p.m., Valerie texts again. "Filed. Timestamped. You're covered." Now we wait. I type out a thank you, then delete it. Instead I send, "Let him laugh." The paper already spoke. Valerie calls on a Tuesday, just after 3. I'm rearranging the medicine cabinet, organizing labels outward, cotton sealed, child-proof caps closed like vaults. She doesn't say hello, just, "He's going to claim it was a shared asset." I pause, toothpaste tube still in hand. "The repairs?" "The house." I lean against the wall, let the light hum fill the pause. "He's not on the deed." "Won't matter," she replies. "Not to him. He'll lie loud enough to sound like proof." I say nothing. "Do you still have the ring?" she asks. I look toward the drawer. "Yes." "Bring it with you Friday." "I want it documented." I finned. I place the toothpaste back in the drawer, rotate the label to face forward. Travis is still out of town, or so he claims. A job across state lines, no location details. Just receipts for gas and a hotel room with no name on the reservation. I found the statement yesterday, printed it, highlighted the charges, slid them between the 2 versions of the invoice. When Friday comes, I don't wear black. I wear navy, crisp collar, hair down, no perfume. I leave the ring in its box this time. No warmth from skin, just metal and memory. Valerie's office is busier today, voices behind closed doors, a secretary offering water like apologies. She sees me and nods. "This way." Inside, she gestures to the table, already prepared. A photographer, a notary, a small light clamped to the edge. I sit. The ring is placed on the mat. Gloved hands arrange it, lens clicks, a pen glides across forms. No one speaks unless asked. The silence is ritual. Valerie waits until the others leave. Then she closes the folder and taps her finger once on the invoice. "You've built a pattern," she says. "A clean one, no missing links." I fold my hands. "Is that enough?" "In law, yes. In court," she pauses. "It depends on the room. But on paper? He doesn't stand a chance." I breathe in, slow and even. "I'm not taking the house," I say. "Just my name back." She studies me. "You sure?" "It's not about punishment. It's about removal." She nods slowly. "You've kept all your records." I smile faintly. "It's the only thing I still own." Valerie leans back in her chair. "You ever think he left that invoice out on purpose? To test me? To bait you?" I shake my head. "He doesn't plan that far ahead. He underestimates in real time." Before I leave, she hands me a single-page copy of my affidavit, my handwriting at the bottom, next to a scan of the forged signature. "This part," she says, pointing to the note I added, "is what makes it airtight." It reads, I turn the ring inward before I spoke. I fold it once, tuck it into my coat. That night, I sit alone in the living room. No lights but one. I open the drawer beside the couch and take out the ring. I hold it between two fingers, let the light catch. I speak softly, no audience, no witness. This was never about marriage. It was about erasure. The ring doesn't answer. It never did. The envelope is thicker this time. It doesn't come folded or stamped with a friendly logo. Just a white rectangle, addressed to him, Travis Kingston, in full block print, taped discreetly to the front door like a warrant that doesn't need a knock. I open it. I don't hesitate. Inside, a photocopy of the same violation he laughed at, but now it's addressed with clarity. Notice number HOA 3321. Unauthorized occupancy. Owner misrepresentation. Beneath it, a request for formal appearance at the next hearing, plus documentation proving rightful authority over household repairs. There's a yellow post-it on the back. Resident signature required. Failure to respond will incur fine. I place it on the hallway table without a word. When he returns, it's dusk. The porch light flickers, catching the sweat on his temple and the film of exhaustion he wears like he earned it. He sees the envelope immediately. What now? He mutters, tugging it loose. As he reads, I continue slicing carrots for dinner. He huffs. You've got to be kidding me. These people are obsessed. I let the knife keep its rhythm. He waves the letter toward me. This you're doing? I turn. It has your name on it. But they wouldn't care this much unless you made it a thing. I wipe my hands. Or unless you ignored it for months. He sets the envelope down harder than necessary. You know what your problem is? I tilt my head. You think everything's a war. That silence is strategy. But it's manipulation. You're not better than me because you fold napkins and smile through lies. I watch his face shift, waiting for guilt, but finding only discomfort. Did you read the whole thing? I ask. They're fining you now. Not me. He throws his keys into the bowl by the door. Great. Add it to the list. That night he doesn't eat. He drinks instead cheap whiskey this time. He watches sports highlights he doesn't care about. He leaves the HOA envelope torn in half on the coffee table like a verdict he can outshout. I clean it up when he falls asleep. I tape it back together and file it in the growing stack in my tote. I label it, Ho him. The next day, I find Janine's car idling at the corner. She doesn't approach, but she sees me collecting the mail. Our eyes meet. She nods once. I nod back. No need to speak. Not anymore. By the following Monday, a second notice arrives, this one from the HOA legal liaison. Same house, same date, different tone, formal language, citations, fines. A note requesting deed verification and authorized agent documentation for all construction work done after 2018. I photocopy it. I do not show him. I place the copy inside the prenup folder, just after clause section 4B. I staple them. Later, he slams the bathroom cabinet because he can't find shaving cream. I don't move. Where's the damn thing? He barks. Top left. I call back. It's always been there. Silence. Then, found it. He doesn't say thanks. At night, he paces. They want me to prove I own the damn house? He asks, stunned that paper carries more weight than volume. This is my address. My name's on everything else. I take a sip of water. Not everything. It's a roof, he shouts. I fixed the damn roof, like a man is supposed to. I nod, and forged my name to do it. He stops. That again? He laughs, brittle and raw. You're still clinging to that like it's arson. It's not arson, I say. It's fraud. He turns toward me, eyes narrowing. You want out that bad? I fold the dish towel neatly. I'm already out. I'm just still here. He storms upstairs. I hear drawers opening, things being thrown. He's looking for control in all the wrong places. At 2 a.m., he's asleep on the couch again. The HOA letter is gone from the coffee table. The bottle beside him is empty. I don't touch either. I simply turn out the light. At dawn, I photograph the front door. No wreath, just peeling paint. A faint outline where the notice used to be taped. I file the photo. I title it, He Was Warned. The drawer doesn't stick this time. It opens cleanly, as if it, too, is ready. I pull out the folder labeled Kingston Private and set it on the dining table. The prenup, the invoices, the HOA letters, the retainer agreement, the notarized signature comparison, a photograph of the torn violation, repaired with tape, one copy of my affidavit. I stack them spine to edge, aligned, clipped, final. Then I walk upstairs, open the jewelry drawer, and retrieve the ring box. I don't open it. I don't need to. The weight of it is no longer emotional. It's simply a line I no longer cross. He's out somewhere. He left with no note, no call, no time of return. He's been more ghost than husband for weeks, hovering in rooms like smoke that won't stick to walls. He talks to himself now. Short bursts of frustration, clipped muttering about fines, conspiracies, HOA tyranny. Yesterday he yelled at a branch for brushing against his truck. The branch didn't move. He did. I take the ring box, set it on the file folder, and take a photograph. I email it to Valerie with one sentence. It's time. She responds 3 minutes later. Separation paperwork ready. You can sign in person or remote. Friday 11 a.m. I reply with one word, in person. At 5:41 p.m., I open the back door and let the wind move through the house. It slips past furniture like it belongs here. Nothing resists. I stand in it for a while, letting my hair lift, my sleeves pressed tight to skin. I don't cry. I don't smile. I just exist for the first time in months. I exist without waiting. He returns at 7:06, slams the door louder than necessary. He walks straight to the kitchen, opens the fridge, slams it closed. Out of beer, he mutters. Course we are. I keep my eyes on the book in my lap. I'll go tomorrow, he says. I turn the page. You won't need to. He pauses, looks at me. What's that supposed to mean? I dog-ear the page and close the book gently. I'm leaving. Silence. A beat. 2. Then, where you gonna go? Janine's? I stand. Not away, just out. He scoffs. That's not an answer. It's the only one you'll get. He paces, jaw clenched. You really think you can just walk out with some paperwork and what? Start over? I don't think anything, I say. I know where I stand. He points to the table. Is that my file? No, I say, calm. It's mine. He steps forward, but something in my eyes stops him. I did everything for this house, he says. For us. You did everything to the house, I reply. Not for me. Not once. His face tightens. He walks out of the kitchen, doesn't slam the door this time, just leaves it open behind him. Upstairs, I hear drawers again, but not frantic. Resigned. He's looking for proof he's still the one in control. He won't find it. That night, I sleep with the tote packed by the door. One set of clothes, 2 folders, phone charger, no jewelry, no apologies, just enough. At 10:43 a.m., on Friday, I walk into Valerie's office with nothing but the tote and a calm I didn't earn. I built it. Brick by brick, page by page. She greets me with a nod. No small talk, just process. She turns the folder toward me. Everything's here. One signature locks it. You'll serve him next week. I'll hand deliver, I say. That's not required, she reminds me. I know. She watches me sign. When I do, my hand doesn't shake. The pen glides. The signature curves exactly where it should. Unlike his. When I leave, the sky is clear. No wind, just sun. I roll down the window anyway, let the air move through my hair. It doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like fact. The absence of tension. The quiet that follows decision. He's outside with a rake when I approach. Bent over, muttering about the neighbors, dead leaves piling too close to the property line. I watch for a moment, just long enough to make sure he's alone. He doesn't see me until I cross the driveway. I'm not holding a bag, no car keys. Just a single manila envelope, sealed, stamped, labeled with his full name, Travis Kingston. When he looks up, sweat beading across his brow, I see the flicker. Confusion first, then recognition, then something like defensiveness trying to rise before he knows what I've brought. I stop 4 feet from him. Close enough for shadow, far enough for distance. This is for you, I say. My voice is clear. Neutral, no edge, just delivery. He straightens, wipes his hand on his jeans. What's that? I offer it without a word. He doesn't take it right away. just stares at the name. He's reading the envelope like it might explode. Finally, he snatches it with a grunt. What now? Hoey fine? Another fake letter from your friend Janine? Read it, I say, not a request. He opens it right there on the lawn. His eyes don't move quickly. He reads every word like he thinks it might lie to him. By the second page, I see the shift. He blinks harder. Rereads. Separation? He says, half a laugh in it. You're serving me? I stay silent. He shakes his head. You're not serious. I wait. He flips to the affidavit. My signature. The invoice copies. The photograph of the forged one. My handwritten note. I turned the ring inward before I spoke. He looks up. You kept all this? I nod. Since the beginning. His hands tremble slightly, just enough to betray the bravado. You planned this, I documented. I say. You planned. He scoffs. So that's it? You get the house, you get the sympathy, and I get labeled a what? Con man? You get the truth, I say. Nothing more, nothing less. The neighbors across the street pretend not to watch, but blinds shift. Curtains flicker. This confrontation doesn't need a crowd, it already has one. He throws the envelope on the ground like it insulted him. You're pathetic, he says. You could have talked to me. I did, I reply. You laughed. He steps forward. You think paperwork wins? You think a judge cares about your little folders and your tone? They care about signatures, I say, and timelines, and property lines. He opens his mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. Instead, he turns, kicks at the rake, walks toward the porch, muttering obscenities too low to be dramatic. I bend, pick up the envelope, dust off the corner. I will not let evidence wrinkle in the dirt. I walk it back to the front step, set it gently by the door. When I leave, I don't look back. At home, I file a note. Served, October 10th, 11:23 a.m. Witness, front lawn, public, voluntary receipt. No threats, no response requested. Valerie will appreciate the precision. I sit at the kitchen table, flip through the last document still unsigned. Property division form. I don't mark the house. I don't want it. Just the name. Just the piece. The phone rings. Valerie. It's done? It is. He respond? With silence. Then noise. Then nothing useful. Perfect, she says. We're ahead now. I hang up, exhale once. There's no satisfaction, no celebration, just oxygen returning to a room that's been starved of it for too long. He's already in the kitchen when I come in. Sitting in the same chair he's occupied for years, legs spread too wide, arms slung across the back like he still owns something. The manila envelope sits in front of him, opened, pages spread like he was trying to intimidate paper and failed. There's a beer beside it, half warm. No glass, no coaster. Just him and the aftermath. You're really doing this, he says without looking up. I don't answer. I place my keys on the counter with surgical quiet. He lifts a page. Prenup Clause 4, separate property remains separate. You're quoting this like scripture. Because it's binding, I reply. Because it's law, he snorts. And the credit fraud thing? You think I meant to screw you over? I set the tote on the floor and kneel beside it. You didn't mean anything, I say. You just did it. That's the point. He stands suddenly, too fast. The chair scrapes. He pushes the page toward me. This is petty. This is clean, I say. No police. No lawyers with microphones. Just paper, truth, a pen. We're married, he snaps. We were. I correct. Legally, yes. But emotionally, you divorced me years ago. You just forgot to file. He stares, trying to find a foothold in the room. You won't even fight, he says, almost pleading. You're just walking away. I walked the moment you forged my name. I lift the tote. Everything after that was logistics. He points at the document again. You think this prenup saves you? It protects me, I say, from men who think partnership is ownership. The fridge hums louder in the silence. He steps back. So what? You serve me, and you vanish? Take half my things and call it closure? I tilt my head. I'm not taking anything. Not the house. Not the truck. Not the couch you sleep on instead of the bed you abandoned. I pause. You already lost me. You just didn't notice. He runs a hand through his hair. You sound like someone else. I shrug. No, you're just hearing me for the first time without interruption. I walk to the table, pick up the final page. I flip it toward him. Prenup, Section 4. B. Separate property remains separate. No commingling of funds or credit. I set it down next to the beer. You committed fraud. I responded with clarity. That's not revenge. It's correction. His mouth opens, but he says nothing. There's no room left, no more air to suck out of the room. He lowers his eyes. You're really gone, aren't you? I nod once. I've been gone for months. Today is just my body catching up. I move toward the door. I don't need to slam anything. Every detail has already spoken. The floor doesn't creak. The lock clicks quietly. The light outside is soft, not triumphant, but certain. When I reach the car, I pause. I glance back not at the house, but at the mailbox. I open it, slide in one last folded letter. It's not addressed to him. It's addressed to myself. Mara Kingston. Full name. No hyphen. No attachments. Just a note that reads, "You left nothing behind. Only yourself reclaimed." I don't drive far. Just past the line where the zip code changes. Past the place where our names were once carved into a mailbox we never painted. I park beside a tree that hasn't lost its leaves yet, despite the season. There's wind, but not enough to move what won't let go. Inside the car, I hold the last envelope. It's not legal, it's not proof, it's personal. A copy of my own affidavit, my name, my voice, my written words. At the bottom, in black ink, the note I chose to include the day it all began. I turned the ring inward before I spoke. It was never a metaphor. It was a method, a pressure point, a reminder that silence doesn't mean surrender. That even when the voice is quiet, the hand still writes, the mind still watches, the truth still tallies every bruise that never left a mark. I don't wear the ring anymore. I didn't throw it away. I didn't burn it. I didn't turn it into a symbol. I let it be what it always was, metal shaped to fit a role I outgrew. It lives in a drawer, in a house I no longer visit, under a napkin from a night he doesn't remember. That's not grief, that's archiving. I step out of the car. The leaves crunch under my feet. I walk toward a door that doesn't creak, that doesn't demand permission. Valerie opens it. She doesn't smile. She doesn't ask what happened. She just hands me a new set of keys. Not to a house, to a P.O. box. A place where my name arrives by itself. Clean. Complete. You ready? She asks. I nod. I already left. Now I'm just filing the paperwork. She exhales, sharp and short. You waited long enough. No, I say. I watched long enough. Now I act. We don't talk much after that. She hands me the lease copy. I sign. I file. She locks it all into a cabinet. Somewhere behind her, the office printer whirs softly, printing someone else's story. This one's done. Outside, the wind picks up. I pull my coat closer and walk back to the car. When I shut the door, it doesn't slam. It closes softly. That's the end of it. Not with noise, not with fire, with a door that knows it doesn't need to shout to mean it's closed.